Okay, here's some new news that just came out within the hour. It's kind of amazing what you'll hear each school, different news place say about this, but there's this asteroid here that, believe it or not, none of them actually name. And so I thought I'd go on NASA and try to find it out, but over in the side was another thing, and I go, okay, let's find this out, and no, and then Fox, and no, but, and they, all kind of want to mention the same thing. It's weird how they have that similar rhetoric as each other variation on a theme there. They talk about if you haven't had enough in 2020, then check this out. And there's an asteroid that's going to come well within between the moon and our planet. And it's going to be the day before the elections here that come out. Yep, there it says it at the bottom. And let's just roll this animation for a second here that they've got. And so I want you to make note that it comes at Earth here, and as it does, it veers and comes out the back end of it there. Well, the problem with that is that as it does so, if there was possibly a moon that was out there in this area, it could draw it in much easier. And I'm sure they're figuring out where the hell the moon's going to be at that time and so on. I don't want to be the fearmonger here, but in one of the comments, some dude who has some PhD thing behind his name actually says, isn't this the 14th thing that has been a near Earth passing object in the last year or something? Blah, 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 blah. And of course, I think he'd be going more on nearly a decade now. And of course, there's that Huamoa, the Hawaiianish type named oblong one, and everybody thought it was an alien. Down in the comments, there people are saying that Republicans say, well, what if, it's coincidence and the spotting of the date. What if it's aliens? And then the dim response would be, I, for one, support and bow down to our alien overlords. And then, of course, there's probably Trump shaking his head. And then there's a bunch of people throwing a fit with different colored hair. But that'd be a great meme. I can't wait for the memes to come out on this. But I have to mention a reality here. This thing is only about 6 foot across, they've measured. So it's roughly, could be that or a little bit larger. And they give it so it's about the size of a car. Now, if it's solid metal, there's still going to be something hit the ground unless it comes in at a harsh angle and burns up. Or better yet, said correctly, if it comes in on the right angle, something will hit the planet. Well, what's that going to do? About nothing. If you had it go unscathed through the atmosphere, which is impossible, but if you had it go unscathed through the atmosphere and it punched down into it or whatever, it would cause something like the Libya bomb or this, that, and the other, and leave a crater. It'd be noted, and if it hit in the wrong place, it'd be a problem. But something this size wouldn't do that. But something about 3 or 4 times this will still have this size make it through, and if you get a little bit larger, it just starts to multiply what the punch is whenever it comes through there, and you get something that's about the size of a baseball stadium come through, and it really is going to wreak havoc on the planet. Funny, down in the comments here, it talked about go ahead and get Bruce Willis after it. He's messed with 2 of these things. Well, we don't have anything in place for that. Well, somebody else made a comment. We have that new Space Force, and that Space Force, that's what they should be doing, is blowing up things like this. Well, of course, we don't want to blow it up, because if it comes across us and shoots out, no telling where that buckshot's going to go. And if you shoot it coming towards us, it's going to try to disperse it out, but some of that's still going to hit us. And say we found a huge one and we try to blow it up. I mean, you could say, well, we're going to put ones behind ones, and so when it blows it up, as it blows it up, other ones are going to blow it up more, and it's all going to deflect out and everything. And that's a great concept if we have nothing else. But hell, we ought to get something going on about this. Here's a picture that came to mind right before I did this. if you were to say, well, the moon protects us and everything, look, it's got a bunch of craters on it. It's like, no, the moon doesn't protect us. There's a whole lot of things that come whizzing by us, like somebody shooting bullets at us standing out in the middle of a field. Sometimes right over our shoulder, like this right here. In fact, it's going to bend to a new trajectory, which I'm sure they're going to figure out in this process too, because who knows, once it does that and it goes around the moon and or goes around the sun and then comes back whipping back around, it's not going to be doing this trajectory again. And of course, if we're a few hours difference in time, this would be pegging us. It's one that you don't worry about. Well, we still need to keep track of it and everything else, so we know when and where and whenever it comes back in, and ta-da, and we can refine these mathematics by doing these type of things. But you take something like this, and of course the fear mongering and BS and everything out of it, but you take something like this, and I talk about the younger dryas event and something like this, but the bigger version of it actually happened and coming at an angle. Well, Jupiter and Saturn, they protect us. Okay, here it is coming in from the right, and Jupiter and Saturn are both behind us right now. Not lined up, but one's back over there, and the other one's back over there. What you gonna do? Here, let's go for another thing. The moon protects us, so we've got something spinning around that's about 30 foot away from us. That's about the size of a softball. Now you're going to start shooting at me with a gun, and I'm cool that this tether ball effect and me spinning it around here is going to block the thing. Oh, and it goes pretty damn slow too, and if you check it out, it goes to this little warble, so you got to figure that in. But here we go, whipping it around. That's not quite in scale, but it's something like that. Oh, but what protects us is Jupiter and everything. Oh, that's great, but Jupiter's over here. It does suck in things, and we've seen what it, in the Shoemaker-Levy comet and everything else, but notice when it busted up that Shoemaker-Levy comet, every single piece of it that hit would have been an Earth-ending dinosaur turned into chicken type asteroid. So I don't know the exact number. Somebody said it's the 14th thing, and I don't know. And somebody else said something about ones that go in between the moon even, and how many of them that had been over the last decade, and so on, in another video not too long ago, not the same one right here. But in that effect, you get this thing where I guess people are talking about it, but duh, if this was the one that's the size of a stadium, and it's coming in, and they go, no, it looks like it might have a better chance of hitting us, we wouldn't have a damn thing we could do about it. Now you can talk about getting something up in space and shooting a rocket out to it, trying to match its speed and then catch on to it and then push it. And if they're a certain size, maybe throw it into the sun, right? Forget where it's going to come back next time. No. We're just going to go ahead and trash clean up this situation and throw it out of this. No, out of the situation. But you got to watch that too. You don't want to throw something strictly at the sun. It might cause a solar flare to come back at us. So you try to have it go an apex around and burn up at a hard angle coming into it. Something like that. But we'd have to be able to get out there and get a hold of something and get in front of it. And there has to be a secondary thing that would happen if that starts to screw up. We wouldn't just stand there and go, well, duh. Oh, it's all God and the Bible and everything. No, we are the gods of this earth. I mean, the Bible says if you eat this and everything, you'll be as of gods, and all this knowledge and everything. We got knowledge of this stuff and everything, and we're going to be stupid about it, are we? Wakey. This is just something that we should have in place. It would be sad in 100 years or 1,000 years to be able to report we've got the net in place that does the thing and nothing ever happened. I don't think that's the situation. In fact, we could practice on things like this and other things and make sure we just sling these little ones off into the sun. Screw that. Attach onto the bigger asteroids, try to stop them in some way, whatever, and start mining them damn things. Do things like that. We don't want it to ever be the cause of something that, well, that made it whip around and so Everybody's got to pay attention, but before you pay attention, you've got to try to want to know and do. And I'm not aware of how many of these people are, well, we're trying to find these asteroids and stuff. Isn't this the 14th one that has come by us that we were like, no, I didn't know about this? And they tried to say, we know this percentage of them. Or do you really? It's funny how we're having all of these ones you didn't know anything about. Oh, well, we think we've got the bigger ones and everything. All it takes is something screwing up something out past Pluto, and next thing you know, we get baseballs and baseball stadiums hurled all around the place. Every year we go into a torrid meteor shower. We had a thick point in that. There's going to be something hit the ground, too. That's what they used to talk about, the old Day of the Dead and everything and stuff. I've got Halloween and other videos that mention that and go into that. But regardless of that fact, you have this planet here that's under attack. It whips around, and this is not far away. And you worry about something like the space shuttle and the Sandra Bullock thing, and something just didn't take much. And was that just space debris or what happened out of it? But I wonder how close it is when it comes in whipping there to the space lab that we have up there now in the space station. How close is that? Well, it's not going to be there. It's going to be on the other side of the planet. That's great. And if the tether ball's on the other side of the planet when it comes whipping around, what's going to happen? The chances of you making this tether ball work and believing in it and the fact that the Earth's never been hit or doesn't get hit or it doesn't get done too often. Well, it doesn't get done too often. About how often? Well, we're kind of overdue by about, whoa, a hell of a lot. Unless we're going to go with the younger dryas event. And then if it happened, maybe you'd say, well, okay, so that puts us in the ballpark, and now we've got another 77,000 years to go through. And oh no, it's 67 because it happened 10, actually 12,000 years ago, so it's closer. But then again, when are we going to have that happen? Oh, there's these volcano things too that you would be ignoring, and it's going right on this planet, and things that make that all kinds of things happen, and catastrophes could go on. And it's not going to be from a slow rising ocean that's happened so many times over and over, and a heat that's been on the planet so many times. If you look at the Ice Age before there was any cow farts onto it, it looks like things like this and supervolcanoes cause a whole lot more problems. We just need to pay more attention to it. And again, this whips in, and right now, it's not even here yet. It's not even here yet. This is a month away. This is going to happen the day before voting. But it's way out on this line here. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles out, right? And it's coming in on this angle. And we can predict that angle and say, well, when would we ever run into that thing at the timing it has? Well, no. If you'll look, it's starting to bend already as it comes by us, and it's going to be this different trajectory. That same type of thing slings things at us. And by the way, these ones that we have pinpointed and we go, yeah, it's a big one there, but we know where it's going. Yeah, have you figured all the planets into it and everything? And whenever one's going to come just close enough to where it goes veer and changes everything, and then when it goes a boing, smack, or real close to smack, we're not sure. Do some math here. Just check that out. Here we go. There's another one going to come here close to our planet. Even if it hits our moon and it screws up the moon, that's going to screw up everything. Maybe we ought to be a little more careful here as we go into that Star Trek age, because we might be drawing back to the Stone Age if something like that hits us. It's big enough. And just to sit around and pray about it and everything doesn't do a damn thing if the rock's headed this way already, and it would be. Regardless of any situation that's going on, it's already headed this way. Somebody's already shot the bullet and somebody's spinning around a tether ball. Hey, we can get something out there and it'll stop this whole situation. Just take a look, or just put something out there just in case. It's a sentry. Hopefully that's what we're headed to soon. Because I just don't like these things keep whizzing past us. And that one that went into Russia or whatever and burned up and pow, if that thing would have just been a few times bigger, or a coming at a few different degrees in angle, that'd have been a different story too. If it'd come in a different place on the planet, that'd be a different story too. Again, I caught myself looking like a fearmonger when I look at myself speaking about this, but no, this is just something we ought to do. You know, you put the police out there, but you're not expecting somebody to do something, but they're there just in case. You understand this situation, right? Like a sentry. And there needs to be a scout, too. And not just one over here, because looky over there. Hey, and look up here. Things can come in every angle. You would say a progenitor comes on that plane, but then again, we're wobbling up and down in that plane anyhow, like a warped record. Anyhow, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think down in the comments there. But it's funny how this first started out as being, oh, look at this again, but now we're getting this idea, oh, it's only 6 foot across, so it's no big deal and everything, blah, blah, blah. They haven't even named it, but it looks like its name is Y something and then the letters, but I can't catch it. And this is the only video that you could really see it in, and you can't really catch it. Anyhow, doesn't matter what its name is, especially if you could just take it right now and latch something onto it and oh, now you're aimed that way. Now let me make sure that's right. A little bit more in there. All right, just let her go. In fact, let that thing got more juice in it. Yeah, okay, just get it off of it and let it go right into the sun. All right, and bring that thing on back slowly. In fact, keep it kind of out there as a sentry. We still got good contact with it? Yeah. Okay, well, just leave it out right there, because if something comes along and you have to go out there to get it, might as well be out there getting it. Yeah. In fact, let's put another one out. A couple of hundred. No, we don't want some sentient thing, and da-da-da, and there comes the Terminator bullshit and everything. No. Just something. Anything. Peace.